Here at Pat Bay, this training aspect, which was one of the two, the military side was operational, the training side was crucial. This was where combat crews would first be formed into units and would work together in a military organization, which was partly training, partly operational, because they were out on a combat role, both in the fighter and in the bomber role, and they got their first operational experience here. And that was crucial for Canada because they would go on to both Pacific theaters, European and African theaters, and there they would be no chance for training. They were under fire from the get-go. And so the lessons learned here at Pat Bay could make a decisive difference in whether they survived or not and whether they prevailed or not. So in that respect, I call it the Combat Finishing School here at Pat Bay was decisive in terms of our forces in World War II. In World War II, just in the months leading up to World War II, this base opened. It was designed as a military base originally, so there were no civilian aircraft. And the RCAF was looking to protect its fleet down in Nanaimo, the Pacific Fleet. It was also hoping to secure the approaches to Vancouver, given the rise of militarism in the world, and given particularly the rise of Japan as a power. So they established a major air base here, which was very fortunate given the outbreak of World War II. Originally, the base was established solely for Canadians and for the Royal Canadian Air Force. However, with the outbreak of World War II, which occurred just 2 months before the base was actually opened, it assumed a major training role, and all Allied forces came here to be trained, but the major organization that was here in addition to the Canadians was the Royal Air Force. This base actually was the third largest base in Canada in World War II, and at its peak it had 5,000 personnel, and during the war more than 10,000 people were trained in all. And there was an instant demand for all kinds of air crew. So everything from pilots, navigators, wireless operators, gunners, as well as all of their supporting armorers and mechanics. There was a demand for all of these trades. And what we had here was a massive training organization with both single engine and multi-engine aircraft. And also, we were kind of unique in that being bordering on the Pacific Ocean, we could also provide seaplane training, and we could also provide torpedo aircraft training. Being World War II, most of the combat roles were filled by males exclusively. However, women served everywhere else, everything from the administrative to the nursing sectors to meteorology. So they were present, and they were quite a familiar sight on the base as well. After the war, the Canadian military demobilized very, very rapidly. And this was actually a dispersal area. They gathered up all of the aircraft on the West Coast and they auctioned them off at fire sale prices. For $40, you could buy a bomber, you could buy a fighter, you could pretty well have your pick. What was sold, and the rest of it, unfortunately, was scrapped and melted down and cut up and basically done away with because there was no need for it after World War II. And the base itself closed down shortly after that, so it faced a crisis. The citizens of Victoria wanted an airport facility that was right on the outskirts of town, and we're about 26 kilometers from town. So they really didn't want to travel that distance to get into the civilian market for air travel that was going to boom after World War II. But the thing was, we had a tremendous infrastructure here, and it was just too good to give up. So as a consequence, this military base in peacetime became a huge civilian airport and was used both privately and commercially thereafter.